So like any grammar question, I'm looking at the answer choices first to see what they might be testing. This might look like it's 4 choices that are all very, very similar, but there is one that is very, very different. It is choice A. Because what do we have here? We have a comma and a conjunction. And there's a couple of uses of that, but the main use is to connect 2 independent clauses, 2 sentences, right? So I have a clear test with choice A. If there are 2 sentences on either side of that and, then I've got to pick this because that's the only way I can join them here. There's no periods, there's no semicolons, there's no colons. That's the only way I can join those things. So I'm going to read this with that in mind, really emphasizing that break. And it looks like I got to start at the beginning. This is a long sentence or 2 sentences. Featuring works by the photographers, whatever, the 2021 exhibition, The New Woman Behind the Camera, set out to provide a wide-ranging overview of photography by women in the 1920s through the 1950s. Yeah, that's a sentence. There's an extra clause at the beginning there, and the name of the exhibition is long, but the exhibition set out to provide a wide-ranging overview of photography. That's the sentence. That's good. So step 1 is, we need 2 sentences. Step 1, we got 1. Okay. Now, when I read the second one, notice how long of a pause I'm taking here because I'm talking through it. I would not read this entire thing in one go, even if I were taking the test. I would take this pause, and then I would skip the word and. Because if the word and is there to do what I think it's doing, joining 2 sentences, it has no other purpose. It is not adding meaning. It is not adding understanding. It is purely there to connect the sentences. It is not doing anything else. So I'm going to ignore it. And I'm going to just treat it like it was a period. So now I'm going to start with, given the collection's breadth of more than 120 photos, its efforts were largely successful. That is also a sentence. We've got 2. It's got to be A. And that's what I predicted it would be at the beginning. I was pretty sure, since that was the only one that was joining 2 sentences, it was likely that that was going to be the answer. I would never, ever, ever just pick A and be done. That I have a hunch, but it's the SAT is so good at kind of defying my expectations that I need to do the test and go through the process. But the test is really easy to perform. It is very consistent. It's the same test I would use if there was a period there or a semicolon there. So it's very easy to kind of look at the sentence structure once I know that that's what's being tested. And it's why you need to memorize the punctuation marks. Now, I often say that commas are kind of our last resort. We don't want to worry about them, but this is kind of the only comma that matters when that comma is paired with a conjunction. Usually the word and, so, but, those words could also show up as conjunctions. Any of those, we've got to think about the sentence structure thing. And when you do it, I recommend really pause where that period would be. Really understand that first sentence before you move into the second. Because what they're trying to do to trick you is get you to blend those 2 sentences together. We don't want to do that. We want to force them apart so we can tell if they're actually sentences. And when we do, I think even though these are kind of long, it's pretty obvious that choice A has to be right.